Peter Pan. Wendy, darling, is a girl with a great imagination, and before going to sleep, she loves to tell her brothers John and Michael of the incredible adventures of Peter Pan, a magical boy who can fly. But today their father George has decided that Wendy must stop this. That's enough stories. It's time his daughter grew up. And another thing, from tomorrow, Wendy will sleep in a room of her own. A short time later, their mother, Mary, says goodnight to her dear children and closes the door. She doesn't know that Peter Pan in person is about to come into the room in the company of his fairy friend Tinker Bell. What a surprise when the darling children see Peter Pan there with them. Wendy, John, and Michael discover that Peter has always secretly loved to hear Wendy's stories. But he really doesn't like Mr. Darling's new proposition. Grow up and stop listening to stories? He'll see about that. He'll take the children to his own home on the island of Neverland, a place where you never grow up. Just a pinch of pixie dust and thinking happy thoughts, and they'll be able to fly. Peter leads the way and points to the sky. There it is, Wendy! Second star to the right and straight on till morning. After an exciting flight, Peter, Tinker Bell, and the darling children arrive at Neverland Island. They immediately recognize the places Wendy told them about. The Indian camp, the Mermaid Lagoon, and the ship of Captain Hook, Peter's sworn enemy. Blast that Peter Pan! If I could only find his hideout! The pirate is grumbling at that moment. Other inhabitants of the island, along with Peter, are the Lost Boys, who don't greet Wendy in a very friendly way. What a strange welcome! The fact is that Tinker Bell is very fond of Peter. He's her friend, and she doesn't want to share him with anybody. She doesn't like Wendy, and so she's informed the Lost Boys of her arrival by telling a lie, that Wendy is a wicked bird who had to be scared away. Luckily, Peter gets Wendy out of trouble and scolds the Lost Boys. Is this how we welcome guests? As a punishment, Tinker Bell is banished for a week, and the little fairy feels very offended. It's time to explore the island. Peter offers to take Wendy to visit the Mermaid Lagoon, while John and little Michael prefer to go to the Indian camp. Peter always has very clear ideas, and he likes giving orders. So he gives John a special task. You be the leader, he says. John sets off proudly, marching towards the forest. It's a shame, however, that the Indians have no intention of being friendly. As soon as they meet them, they capture John and Michael and take them off to their camp. Over at the Mermaid Lagoon, Peter and Wendy discovered that Captain Hook has sprung into action. There he is in a boat with his trusty first mate Smee. From the top of a cliff, they can see he has caught Tiger Lily, the daughter of the Indians' great chief, to get her to reveal Peter's hideout. Hook tries to frighten her, but Tiger Lily is not afraid and doesn't respond. On the contrary, she refuses to look at him. Even if Hook wants to leave her tied up on a rock to wait for the high tide to drown her, she will never reveal where Peter Pan is. Peter doesn't hesitate. He launches himself off the cliff and confronts the pirate. There's a terrifying duel in which Hook uses his sword and Peter his cunning. He overcomes Hook, and the pirate almost falls straight into the mouth of the crocodile, his other great enemy, who follows him night and day to eat him up. The bully only just manages to escape from the crocodile's teeth and gets away with Smee. But this is a victory for Peter, and he takes Tiger Lily back to her father. The great chief is very grateful, and as a reward, he frees John and Michael, so it's a double victory. Everything's going badly for Hook, but Smee consoles him. They capture Tinker Bell and bring her to the ship. She's still so angry that she's not thinking clearly. Hook tricks her into revealing Peter's hiding place. "Could you show us the way?" he asks her very politely. The answer's yes. Tinker Bell doesn't speak, but she can make herself understood, and dipping her feet in ink, she walks over the map of the island and stops at the point where the hideout is. So the Darlings and the Lost Boys end up prisoners of the pirates. But where's Peter? Peter doesn't know the Lost Boys have been captured. On Hook's ship, the prisoners are tied to the mast, awaiting their fate. The pirates belt out a song. "So try the life of a thief, just sample the life of a crook." Tinker Bell, however, is sorry for what she's done. Of course she can't stand Wendy, but she understands now that Hook's kindness was false. The pirate will harm Peter, and she can't allow this. So she flies to him and describes what's happened. The children need them. There's no time to lose. "There's nothing to be cheerful about, you pirates. Here's Peter Pan." With his dagger, he cuts the ropes binding the prisoners. Then they all attack the pirates. The Lost Boys, as we know, are champion stone throwers, and Peter's too quick for Hook, who surrenders in the end. But events take a dramatic turn. "Okay," says Peter generously. "You're free to go and never return." Hook doesn't need telling twice, but losing his balance, he falls directly into the jaws of the crocodile, who's hungrier than ever. Hook's in trouble again. Hooray for Captain Peter Pan! Hooray for the Lost Boys and the brave Darlings! It's now time to go home. A sprinkling of pixie dust, and Tinker Bell transforms the boat into a flying ship, gleaming with gold. Wendy, John, and Michael speed through the starry sky on that wonderful vessel and arrive back in their bedroom. After putting the two little brothers to bed, Mary and George Darling, along with Wendy, watch Peter's ship from the bedroom window. "Mummy, he really is wonderful, isn't he?" says Wendy with a smile. It really is a breathtaking sight. George sighs. "I have the strangest feeling I've seen that ship before, a long time ago, when I was very young." George remembers now how marvelous it is to believe in fairy tales.